Welcome to Be Bold Branding. Hi, everybody. We're going to cover today the topic of personal branding. Who has time for that? We actually hear this a lot. And today we're going to address this topic live. So, if you've been putting off personal branding, hey, we want you to just grab a cup of coffee, relax for the next few minutes, and we're going to cover the 4 things that you're most likely experiencing by not defining, developing, and displaying your personal brand first. I'm Tonya Eberhardt, founder of BrandFace, where we help business stars like you differentiate yourself, and we do that through personal branding.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was a client before I became a partner in the only comprehensive brand building course across the globe. All right. Now let me jump right into it right here because we're all busy. I'd like to tell you briefly about what I was doing in my in my business life when I met Tonya and began my BrandFace journey. I was flying about 250,000 miles a year. I was selling property in over 33 states. I was spent about 200 nights a year in a hotel. I had an office with 3 divisions here back home, including my investments that I was trying to keep up with. So, honestly, when I told Tonya, hey, I don't have time for this, I probably was one of the more honest clients she's ever had at that time about not having time for it. But I found out I did have time for it because she told me the whole time I did have time for it. And the rest is history. That's the secret of my success. I've listened to everything she said since then. Thank y'all for coming. We'll talk to you later.
I wish it was that easy. You know, I really wanted to look at him and say, is that all you're doing? Right?
I know, right?
But honestly, unbelievably, his schedule is nuts. It was crazy then, it's crazy now. So if you think you don't have time for branding, my goodness, think again, because we can always find time for something to make life easier and better and make us more recognizable and turn us into these local celebrities in our local markets, right? And that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. So now that you've heard a little of Michael's story, I'm going to inject this thought before we go any further. Lack of time should never be an excuse, right? You are actually wasting a lot of time and money right now if you're not focusing on your brand first, starting with these 4 things that you're probably experiencing because you're not doing that very thing. So hang tight. We might be a little bit painful to hear at first, but you just hang tight with us because we're going to take you all the way through it and going to give you the solutions to it, okay? So go for it, Michael, with number 1 thing that is happening because you're not focused.
Getting confused. I say it all the time. You cannot calculate the cost of confusion, especially in the real estate business where you got a million things coming at you like this, just all shiny, shiny, brand new thing. This is the greatest thing ever. You'll never have to work again to make millions of dollars, right? Sometimes it feels like you don't even know where to start. Where should you market yourself? What should you say? Much money should you be spending? I asked a guy one time, a multi-millionaire, like worth $200 or $300 million. I said, how much money should a firm my size be spending on advertising? And he said, all of it. What kind of answer is all of it, right? But
a frustrating one.
Very frustrating one, a very confusing answer for an already confused person about how much. How often should I be spending money or doing this marketing? Your brand is actually what sets the direction for everything you're going to do in any kind of a marketing. And whether you think you're marketing or not, every time you list a property, you're marketing. And if you're not doing it correctly, you're losing the benefit of other deals down the road, right? When it's not clearly defined, when you feel like a deer in the headlights, it causes procrastination at best and doing nothing at worst.
Yeah, those are 2 things we don't like.
No.
Procrastination and nothing.
Right.
Right? Okay, so that's the first thing that can be happening to many of you. And we didn't make these things up, right? We hear this from agents who come into our program or who call and want more information.
From all over the world.
And these are the things they're telling us is happening in their lives because they don't have everything really focused in on. So the second thing is getting frustrated. Right? So if you are like most agents that we hear from, you've tried numerous marketing channels, lead generation platforms, and even a ton of coaches and trainers. And to you, sometimes it seems like none of them work the way they should. We get that, right? And the first thing that many of us do is we tend to blame those marketing platforms and the coaches and the trainers, right? But a lot of that, guys, I have to be honest with you, is unfair blame, right? There's a lot of great marketing tools and platforms out there. There's a lot of fantastic coaches and trainers. And you got to keep focused on what their job is, right? Their job is to teach you how to use the marketing platforms and the tools and their systems as a coach or a trainer. It is not their job to differentiate you. That's where personal branding comes in, and that's why you got us on the line, right? Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind when you're so frustrated because you've tried so many things and it doesn't work. It's most likely not that marketing tool or platform or system. It is the way you're using it. It's how you are expressing what sets you apart from the rest of the world. Because think about it, all these different marketing platforms and tools out there and systems, almost every agent has access to the same ones. Mm-hmm. And if you have not differentiated yourself, if you haven't defined your ideal customers and what sets you apart and how what you do and what you are is meaningful to them, then it doesn't do you any good to go market yourself. What is your message? What are you going to say? What are you going to say that's going to make you different from everybody else using those same marketing platforms? And we tend and I know I'm going on a soapbox here.
Get on. Go ahead.
That's right. Hallelujah, people. That's right. That's right. Well, I'm building mine as we go.
All right.
So when you are marketing yourself, keep in mind that everybody else is using those same marketing tools and platforms. And if you're using all the same templates and the same scripts and everything that the coaches and the trainers and the platforms give you, because that's their job to give you those, right? Something's still missing. You haven't injected that point of differentiation and that thing that sets you apart from everyone else. And that's why it's so critical. And that's why when you spend money on these things, you look just like everybody else and everybody else and everybody else, right? So, and when everybody kind of looks alike, the consumer tends to go back up to the first one, confused and frustrated too. They don't know who to choose until you tell them why you're perfect for them. And that, my friends, is your personal brand.
Yes.
All right.
And it is not that you do better customer service than anybody else. All right. The second part of it is getting out marketed. Okay. That could be in money spent or it could be in exposures. Okay, so don't get confused. It's not necessarily being out marketed as spending more money. It could be more exposure, right? You've no doubt experienced, because all of us have, if we're in the real estate business, that feeling when a competitor gets deal after deal after deal, and you wonder what is the magic sauce with this. Many times it's because their particular brand, whether they know it or not, because we run into that a good bit too. Right. But whether they know it or not, is defined, developed, and displayed. So they're attracting the people that are the best fit for them. And now, usually in my experience, if they don't know what they're doing on purpose, that has happened over 2 decades, right? That's the agent that's been around for 20 years that now has this repertoire that they've been able to grow in a small community or like a church or something like that where they're known for a longevity of time. But if you're like me and you don't want to get in this business, wait 20 years for it to pay off, that's not what you're doing. But those people are known for something, which means over time people start to come to them because of exactly what they're known for, right? And that's when you get out marketed, right? And that could just be because there's more signs in their yards. They have more listings than you. They have more, they can afford a billboard. It could be 100 things like that. But if you want to avoid this, then you have to stand for something specific to you.
Yep. I like that soapbox too. All right. So the fourth thing that you could likely be experiencing because you have not focused on your brand first is, this is a bad one, people. I almost hate to say it. Getting outsold. Okay. And what we mean by this is, look, the worst part of getting out marketed is when the prospect actually chooses somebody else, right? Meaning you've not only missed the ability to get on their radar, but now it's too late. So you've not only been out marketed, you've been outsold. So I know that sounds brutal, right? But that's what a lot of agents are telling us is happening to them. We don't make it up, but this is actually a double entendre, right? Another agent sold that prospect their services, But by the same token, if you haven't focused on defining, developing, and displaying your own personal brand first, you may also not even know how to sell yourself or who to sell yourself to or where to sell yourself, right? So all of those things are dictated by your personal brand and what you stand for. So that's why it's so critical that you go there first. Otherwise, let's just say you started in real estate or you've been in real estate 25 years. It does not matter. If you don't know who your ideal customers are, what sets you apart, and what significant value you bring to those customers, then how on earth do you know what to put in your marketing at all?
Right.
What are you going to put on a postcard?
Best customer service.
Best customer service. If
Won't
you
work.
or someone you know would like to buy or sell a home,
Won't
call
work.
me first, right? All of those things. Well, you're saying a lot of the things other people are saying too. And there are so many agents in most of these markets, it's overrun by many, that it has become so critical that you stand out and stand alone and stand for something that, by golly, that's what we're here for. Right?
Yep.
And don't forget that. So I'll recap it here real quick and then we'll move ahead. So the 4 things that happen when you don't have that brand really dialed in: you get confused, you get frustrated, you get outmarketed, and you get, worst of all, outsold. Okay?
So listen, we understand this. We already have been where you're at, and we're headed where you want to go. All right. So we came up with discussyourbrand.com. It is a free strategy session with us, 30 minutes with our staff to help you see if you're on the right track, give you a little bit more information about what that track looks like to start to differentiate yourself and get away from that sea of sameness that everybody else is doing. And then you can use those marketing platforms, those coaches, those trainers in the proper way. You can take their wealth of knowledge into the activities, but you're approaching it in a way that is different from every one of their other clients that are going after the exact same people. Discussyourbrand.com. And it's totally free to you. We love talking about branding, as you can tell from our shows. We love talking about it. We eat it, live it, sleep it. We've helped people in 41 states and 4 other countries of the world. We know what we're talking about, and we want to talk to you.
Absolutely. And although it might seem like a little bit of a harsh topic today, that actually comes from you guys. It comes from all the calls we've received and what you guys are telling us is happening. And we can dial it down most of the time to the fact that people are not focusing on their brands first. They try to market without actually knowing what they're going to market, the pointed things they're going to market first. And that's where we can help, guys. So that's why we're here. And if you like what you've heard today, hey, like it, love it, share it, and most of all, ding, subscribe so you can be the first to know when a new video comes out. We really appreciate your time today, and let us know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comments area below, and we will get back to you and answer every one of your questions, guys.
Yep. Hey folks, listen, we all we talk about really is prosperity. That's what it is. That is our pursuit. But we're not talking about just money. When we say prosperity, we're talking about the 360 of an abundant and content life. And we have that. We want that for you. That's what's most important. We know right here at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say be bold, folks, especially with your brand. And thank you, Miss Tonya, for everything.
Thank you, Michael. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget to leave us comments below.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.